Okay, we're back for another TruMon show. Yannick, your host, with Jaba from Switzerland. How are you, my brother?
I'm very good, thank you, Yannick.
Good, greatness. We're back and alive.
Still alive, though.
Still alive. Today we're gonna talk about a lot of stuff. I have a lot to talk about that I wrote down from our last hangout. We're gonna keep going on what we're talking about, but mostly also I want to touch the subject of the copyrights in the music industry and trying to understand a little bit better, because I'm sure you can teach me a lot and teach other people at the same time what's going on, because nothing works the way we think it works in society. So I'm sure the music industry for sure is in there. We know that the music industry is in there for certain kind of music for sure, but I think it's their role with the copyrights and all that stuff. So maybe you can tell us a little bit more with your experience, what you lived over the last 20 years in the music industry and all that. So maybe I'm sure you have a lot to say about that because you've made video on it and everything. So I'll let you talk, and if I have a question, I'll interrupt you during that.
Perfect. Well, I had the chance to make the whole step from like beginning until like really local band and struggling with even getting shows until on world stage, how we can say. I traveled in between 2008 and 2011. I traveled around 40 countries, around, I don't know, maybe 800 shows. I traveled, like, I was more living in the airport than and hotels than anywhere else. But really to see like the whole step from really down, like you're like nobody and everyone is joking about your band, until having like the respect of the whole music industry about doing stuff. And I have to say, you struggle from beginning to end. And the whole time you have to do like everything is okay. So that is the biggest lie a musician have to go through. We cannot be honest if we want to maintain the image. And right, the image is what is getting us really like out of art or out of music. That is what today only music don't work. That's as simple as that. You need to have an image, you need to have a name, you need to have media stage, you need to have to be on TV. You know, the people after 15 years of music, I was on the TV the first time, they told me, oh, now you achieved something. What the fuck, you know? You're like 15 years, you're working like a mad, you know? And only when the people see you on TV, then you are someone. You know,
that's what I posted yesterday on Facebook. The biggest moment of success will not be the moment apparent to the crowd.
No. That's not the and moment. Also, when you're making a lot of shows, you quickly see that the best shows are never the ones with the biggest crowd and with the biggest. It's really like the smallest one with less people, but people just get mad, and you have like a real sharing. Also today, I prefer to play in small places to get like an exchange with the people, because if you play in huge, in 40,000 people or so, you have no relation at all with the people. You just, it's like a carpet of people, you know.
What's the biggest crowd you played in front? Was that it 40-something thousand or?
In Sofia, I think was like 60,000, and I played another one, 40,000 in Brazil, and another I think was like 100,000 in Portugal on the beach. Was like, yeah, it just never ended, you know. So, but this is all stuff where you don't have the biggest fun. And I will explain after about what is really going on with the dream and what we can achieve with the dream or disturb our dream. But to go back into the music, that is, if as artists you need an image. So you create the image, you have like a name, you want to be like, for my case, I want to be a reggae star, so you need to have like this and that, and you need to say that, and you need to behave like that, you need to say this on stage and so on. So you create like your kind of image. And then you adapt your music or your art is in general, for all artists is the same. You adapt your art to the image or the image to the art, one of this. But the thing is, nobody want to have like a normal guy. You're right. You have to be like exceptional, but you don't have to disturb, right? That is the range that is giving to you. Don't disturb, but be exceptional, you know? So you have to fabricate like a persona. You have to fit in that in. If you're a little bit more disturbing, a little bit more rebel, a little bit more nice, a little bit more cute, or whatever, right? That is the image you have to build. But nobody is like that. So you create already the first lie. And because you have to adapt your art to this image, you create the second lie, right? Then the people come to your show and buy you CDs and they say, I support you. And you are like, thank you. But you don't tell them that you had to pay to come to the show, to play. And you don't tell them that you maybe have 50 cents per CD. So do you have to
you're telling me many shows you had to pay to go play?
Yeah.
That's what you're saying?
When you make first party of like opening show for another artist, international artist, we get like, we was like 10, 15 people on the road. We get maybe $500.
Wow.
Yeah. So I have to say, I grew up like in a really small country with like 7 million people. So it's really small. We didn't have, when I started, there was no reggae music and there was no local bands, right? So, and in general, in the world, nobody made us white. We was white, only UB40 as white made reggae music, but they had a black in the band, right? So it was accepted. But we didn't was allowed to play reggae music because we was white when we start to play reggae music. Today we have Gentleman, we have Alborosi, we have a lot of white people. I don't see any color, but the people saw a color. So if we made reggae music, it didn't fit. And we came from Switzerland, it's more cheese, chocolate and banks. So the people just say that this can't work. So we had to work up all the steps. We had to build up like the whole our own way to do. So if we played somewhere, we had to put the placards, we had the posters, we had to bring the flyers into the train station, we had to contact the radio ourselves. We had to do everything ourselves because there was no market, right? So I really went from the whole scratch down and did everything up that to see. And when I came out with Rise Up, like when that was a song I made with the DJ, and he brought it out under his name because his name was not really known. They didn't use both names. Like on the most songs with the DJ, I'm not even mentioned because it was like 2 new artists to promote. That for Sony and all the big companies was too much to produce. So the DJ was known, and nobody really knew that it was me who sang that song because I was not in the video, I was not on the poster, my name was not there. So I just made the song with the DJ and the song went out worldwide. Even sometimes when I arrived to perform the song, they was like, what? You are white? They didn't even knew who I was, you know. But no, for me it was really, that is what I want. I didn't, for me it is, if the people are going to listen to the music and they get something out of it and they can't project something on it, that's perfect for me, because that is what music have to do. The one who do the music is not important, it's what the people get out of it what is important. So not because I'm making a good song everybody likes makes me a better person. That's wrong. And that is what it creates, all that image stuff that you think he is somebody special. You're already on stage in the full light with like maybe I don't know how much 1,000 watts in your face, you know. So when you are on stage you make your show, but when you go down the stage you are like everybody else. And that what also makes me to stop all that, because I saw that the people put me on a level where I never want to be. I never ask that to be on that level. I
So
never want to be. Say it.
So what you're telling me is at one point before you enter the stage, you have to go into some kind of transformation inside and really transform into Jaba, and then.
No, it's like I see it like a spectacle or a theater, right?
Okay.
But it's not because you play like the bad guy in a movie that you are the bad guy in real life.
Yeah.
And the people don't disconnect this kind of things with artists anymore. They think he is always cool, you know? He's always like, yeah, you know, he wake up and he is, yeah, no, you know? And he have the same position when you go to the toilet like everybody else, you know? That is what is going on. And when he makes something on stage, I mean, we was professional of stage, you know, so you study all the things, how you come to stage, what you're doing on stage, what you're saying on stage. This is all training, but this have nothing to do with special. And if you do it good and the people are like it, then you did a good job. That's it. You know, but it don't makes you someone special. And that is where the artists have to think, right? We are making something special, the people like it, but that doesn't change who I am.
You know, this is why we listen to all the. Many people don't realize their greatness, but they are all attracted to great people. Like that's why you listen to that kind of music, because you know it could be you, but you're never manifesting your greatness. You're never realizing who you are. So you are not that same kind of person, but you listen to it because you know you could be there.
Exactly, and that is what makes you like less powerless than the other one. And that is the moment where we give up the power, right? And when I was on stage, like in the end, I had so much media intention on my face that anywhere where I go, I was the superstar Jaba, you know. And I was like, no, guys. I mean, I know that you like the music I'm doing, and I'm very grateful for that. But please leave me alone.
Yeah.
You know, and as soon as the worst part, when I really realized that I had to stop it, was like musicians who made music before I started to make music, and they saw a show of us and came after the show to me and say, we will never achieve this
level.
And I was like, what the fuck? What the fuck? I did it to show that everyone can do it.
Exactly.
And they tell me that they will never do it. And I was like, no, I never want to go that far that the people think it is unreachable, you know. That is I never want to do that. And on that moment, it really get very worse for me. I was like almost passing out before going on stage, because I could not cope this when the people just abandon their own energy to something they don't know. They don't know me, and they think they know me, you know. That is impossible. You can't do that with people, and that is the whole exchange of energy that is happening. So if you give up energy, life energy, to someone like an artist, you can do it to anyone. This is submission, you know. This is slave mentality, and we as artists have to recognize that we feed this if we don't recognize it. And I think this was the worst part for me, to really realize like that is the limit where I never want to go. That's why I had to stop it.
And it's hard to know who to trust also, and I'm sure in the music industry is the same, because the whole world is a lie. The world is full of lies. So who do you trust? You know, who do you trust?
Exactly. And for me, the whole thing when I start to make music was not to get any attention, or that the people think I'm really like great. Of course, after a certain way, you can slip in that kind of thing. But for me, it was very important. For the first show I did, for me, I organized them myself. So I had to clean the room after the show. You know, I had to clean the toilets. I had to clean the whole room. And in my mind was like, this mentality I always have to keep. You have to go down this. You have to be able to go down the stage and clean the whole fucking place. You know.
It's
This
the
is
little
what
thing.
we need to keep, but it's very hard, you know, because people are, you go down the stage and people like picture, think, oh, you're great, you're and it just have to come out and out, you know. It is like, yeah, I had to play the game, because if not, you know, that is the contradiction. I had to go in because I saw the game playing, but I excused this because I thought that I could do better if I play the game. And that was the trick when I get into. And that was the trick that, like many artists, because they want to give something to the people, they want to share something with the people, they give up this kind of power and say, yeah, I will do this shit because I know I can do better. And this is a complete illusion, because we can do good by doing harm, right? So we can't feed, like, just feed this whole illusion without taking full responsibility about the illusion we are creating. So like I told you, and no media was not interesting to call me anymore, you know. So fast it goes, even with the image. But I knew what I did, and I did it per purpose. I thought still that maybe some will question a little bit more. No,
but
that
you
was
know,
already enough.
Even putting people on stage, you know, just to say that you put people on stage higher than the whole mass in front of you, like you have 100,000 people in front of you, lower than, like, this old thing. Me, I have a bit of a problem with that. Like, I don't know why it doesn't really resonate with the, okay, you have to be higher so people can see you, but why not be at the same level and project on, like, you know, with this, it's all everything is vibrational, we know this, so
yeah,
it's affecting us for sure. So what's your idea on that?
Well, it is like, I don't know if you saw maybe a Pink Floyd show.
Yeah, I saw a couple of them.
Like where they have only like the screen, and the whole part, the musicians are like in the dark, right? So it's something musical is going on. Today we also have like huge projectors where they project what you don't see from behind, you know. So it is pushing the whole thing. I think the concert in itself, it is just like the consequences of all this image, you know. So the people, if you go to see a show, you want to see the musicians on stage. I think that is something normal, we can say. But the whole projection happened before. It is the whole media, the social media, the booklet, the stories, the mythology, you know, like Michael Jackson, who put himself in a coffin to tell that he is breathing only air, that kind of air. He was doing that because he understood how it works, you know. The people just have to talk about you, don't matter what. You know, that is the thing. And we use that, you know, when the people was just chatting behind, instead to go and say, oh no, this is not like this is not like that. We just left it there, because as long as the people are talking, they are making promotion for us.
Yeah, exactly.
But sometimes
go ahead.
Yeah, I think the biggest issue of all this is that you don't give a chance to any artist to express himself, you know. That is like the biggest issue itself. Now today we are like in a kind of, there is not art anymore, there is fake art, a lot of fake art, you know. The real art don't really come out. If we also see like all what is dance, what is music, what is movie, all that is really all full control crap, you know. So it is not something coming out of nowhere and it's like just blowing all over the place. That is impossible today. Even if the people think with just internet and social community, someone can come up with a super idea and make this happen, that it is in all media all over the place. That's not happening, you know. That is, people have just to realize, if it's like with I am Charlie, you know, je suis Charlie. That kind of thing is a full programmed promotion operation that don't happen just like that. Never.
Yeah, and same like nationalism, nationalism, and putting your flag of France. A lot of people, when the stage attack in France took place, the false flag, because it was a false flag.
Yeah.
Another
But it's
stage.
even worse because so many people did it, and it was the first time when they did it. And the red, white, blue are the colors of the Freemasons.
Yeah, exactly. And why do
It's not
that's why.
even. I don't have to do something with France itself. It is pure Freemason. So
Yeah.
you are like agreeing with the whole Freemason. That is always like this whole controlled operations that they
But it's
make.
the same thing. It's the same thing that the same thing that's happening with the place where we live on. The earth is happening in everything in society. We've been fooled about the very place where we live. So they're gonna fool us on every level they can, and especially with staging events and stuff like that. So yeah, for sure. There's more and more stage and false flag, and they I don't know now. They seem to turn this into a mockery more than any time before. Like it's more of a mockery than anything else, I find.
It's getting faster and faster. What I want to say also about this whole music thing, it is then that we cannot be honest as an artist. We cannot be honest about the struggle we have to go through to record, to promote ourselves, to get visibility, to get shows, to get all that kind of thing. We cannot be honest anymore about that. And that is, if we would share really like all the issues we have, the people would get it more. But they would say, yeah, but why these guys are complaining? They already have this and they already have that. Why they are complaining? Well, the problem is that if we are not complaining because about the reality we are living, then we cannot be honest. Then we have to start to lie and fake everything, that to make people think everything is okay, that they buy the thing, because if we have struggle, they don't buy it.
Yeah.
So it is, you turn, like you go into a whole process of thing, and they know how to catch this kind of things.
Yeah,
Now,
and just to go back on the music a bit also, because I think it's a false conception that we have that like you said, sometimes they make 50 cents a CD. Like everybody thinks that all those artists that goes on stage can live with their music and be able. I don't think it's really like that. I think it's a little bit harder than that for artists to really survive and live with their music. So maybe you can tell us a little bit more.
Well, here around, most artists, they have a job, like they work.
That's it. You need to have a day job. No?
Yeah, they have a day job to make the music, sometimes the weekends, and but this is it depends fully what kind of music you make, what kind of in what country you live, what kind of industry you have around you. But the most musicians, I mean, it's the few who are coming out and really getting like big attention, as we see it over. You can just watch it over the last 5 years. How many new artists really came out of it?
Because many of them, many reggae artists also go around the world and they go alone, and they like Craig Rose Perfect goes often. He goes alone, and then in France he has Irie Heights there and all the crew around to even you can go on stage just with a DJ now today. You can have a guy at the back just playing the track and you sing over. So to have a band of 10 people behind you and be able to make them live and their family live, be able to put something on the table, hey, it's a lot. I mean, come on, you need to be majorly successful. I think it's something that's controlled more than anything. Who's coming out the bag more than any, like I think it's very, very much controlled.
Yeah, of course. The whole decline. I mean, we was 16 on stage. No, not on stage. We was 10 on stage, but 16 on the road, with all the drivers, manager, light, and all the crew. When we went out of Switzerland, we had to pay. We had to pay for flights, for travel, for anything like that, because like in France, they have already like a government-supported deal with musicians who perform regularly, so they have like a minimum salary. You know, we don't have that. So I have to pay
Okay.
myself. I have to pay all the musicians I bring with. So they can go to play for let's say $1,500, and I have only to pay everyone. I need like 3,000. You know. So it is impossible to compare with what we have even in the countries around. But now to go further in the whole what is going on with the music and where the music really is coming from, because myself, I grew up with maybe some, or even our parents, or some of the parents, they grew up in the 60s, right? With the music of the 60s. And what
Elvis.
was really,
Elvis.
yeah. Now we're going into what is the music business and the purpose of the music business, where this is really come from. It is coming exactly from the same source than the TV and the MK Ultra program of CIA, where the whole hippie movement of the 60s was influenced, like Timothy Leary, one of the promoter of the whole hippie movement, and LSD is fabricated by the CIA. So when we are coming to Beatles, Police, I don't know if you know Alan Parsons Project.
No, I never heard of that.
It's like Eye in the Sky. That is what his famous title is. Police who sing Everywhere You Go, I Will Watching You.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, the
it
Police.
is the Beatles. The whole these guys, like Grateful Dead. Yeah.
Just the name, just the word police in Pythagorean numerology equals 33. People don't look at that stuff, but it's
No.
all in plain sight. You can
And
search that stuff.
the three police members, they are like CIA sons. Like their father was working with the CIA. So like when we really backtrack this whole thing, and also the Rolling Stones and all the whole movement and stuff, and the hippie movement was created to erase the demonstration against the Vietnam War. That was the whole purpose, to low the people down, and flower power and peace and love and get your trip. But the LSD was created by the CIA. Albert Hoffman, who is a Swiss guy, he was working also for the CIA, for all the pharma industry, and all this kind of guys who have, they get like a very nice name for the hippie movement and stuff, but these guys are working for the military. So when we backtrack this whole thing, it is a kind of purpose. Also, when we backtrack a singer, or in French is chanteur, enchanter. We are the ones who creating magician. We are using psalm and words to influence people. I recognized this effect very early, because I knew what Bob Marley behind you did in my mind, to understand what was really going on. So I get all the intention what Bob Marley was singing in his songs without knowing the language. So we have to know the responsibility we take with every word we put in every song. All the intentions, the words, what you're doing with, all the image that you propose, the whole thing. So after a certain time, when you really want to take responsibility, then it is impossible to work in a kind of business where you're just lying the whole day, you know. Yeah, it is one goes with another. So you just can't say, yeah, you want to bring something better and just play the same game. I was using the whole image I was building over 20 years to bring out the truth, and I get very much destroyed, and the people love me so much as artist, and they start me to hate about what I was saying. They told me, go back to singing, and I told them, what I sing is the same what I'm saying, you know. So but in a way I use this attention that I created over the last 20 years to really make people think about me, about themselves, or about reality itself.
But it's good what you're saying there, because the exact thing happened to me with Bob Marley. Is I had it in my ears all my life. Everything was put in my ears by many stuff, especially Bob Marley exposing a lot of stuff. But I only woke up at 40 years old, so it was in my ears all my life. But I never, because I think we don't pay attention. Same as questioning that stupid globe. It's just because we don't pay attention. We just don't we don't question anything. So for sure, we're gonna get caught up in their illusion. There's another thing I want to talk about here is the I am principle. We're gonna go into a little bit of spirituality here because I had a new friend on Facebook, one of our mutual friends, Arthur Christian, I believe his name. That's
Arthur,
it.
yeah.
Arthur, yeah, he's from Australia and a very, very well-spoken. The guy has lots of video on YouTube too, exposing the whole thing. And he posted something on Facebook about the I am, and I was reading it, and I was a little bit not confused, but I need some enlightenment on that. So maybe you can help me because I think you know what he was talking about. So
Yeah.
Maybe explain it to us.
The whole I, the I is like the I, or it's like the ego. And it is in the lie, and it is like the all-seeing I.
Okay.
That's the programming, you know, the projection of our submission of something higher. In the sky, the I, my ego, I am, you know. So who we are really, that's the whole question. And what we are not is another question. So we have to, it is way more simple, like I told you the last time, to start with what is true, then discover all the lies that cover the truth. And that is the same. Who are we really? And who are we not? If we use the I, we create a position of ourselves higher up than someone else. And that is indoctrinated. That is what we get to see through the I, and is bouncing between the ears, because we see something, somebody tell us something, another one tell us something, and it's just bouncing between the ears. And that is what is happening in the mind. When we receive a picture and we get opinion, another opinion, other opinion, blah, 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 and then we have a whole confusion about what we see, and that is the whole I, that is the programmation of the system. And that is the basic of what they use for our mind control. To, as soon as they create the ego, and the E of ego is ecclesiast. So it is from the church already, through indoctrination put in our mind. So who we are and who we are not. If we put ourselves upon someone else, then we are already creating a contradiction in ourselves and upon the truth itself. We get the imposter of what is really going on. And that is what is very difficult to understand for people, that what is the ego and who I am, what is me and what is not me. And there is where it's the confusion going on. Like we said the last time, this is the biggest question of all, or the biggest lie of all of them, who we really are. Because we get so many false projections, and the I, the ego, is always what makes the judgment, the presumption, the projection, the point of view, the debate, the conflict, the confusion, all that is creating from that I.
Okay, I see what you mean.
The system.
Because I've never, like, I can say I am creating from my perspective, I can say stuff like that, but to say I am is to put me on some kind of pedestal compared to other people. And
yeah, because it is simple. Can we be here without someone else?
Exactly.
No. Yeah. Can we be here without the life? And this is the same what's happening if somebody is sick, right? You say, somebody is saying, I'm sick. What does this really mean? You know, who I am, you know, who is me, that I can say I am sick. So the question is, are we our body, or are we the life within our body?
Yeah.
This is the man. The man or woman is this, is the life within our body. So if we are sick, is our body who is sick, right? Is our vehicle that is sick. So we have to clean it out. But we are not sick, because if we accept to be sick, then we cannot get healthy. That is as simple as it is. When you are sick, do not say that I am sick. I say, well, I messed up something. I get cold. I eat really bullshit. So clean out the shit, and get the body ready again. This is a complete different mindset about the illness or about anything like that. And that is the first step to and this is the whole doubts that is put in our mind about who we really are. And like this, we have a complete confusion about our whole life and the interaction with the life.
Okay, if we take it from the I am and go to the instead on the third eye and opening the third eye and because I believe some people should not open their third eye. I can give you a couple of reasons why you should not open your third eye. Like if you're not willing to give up junk food and stuff like that, and you're not willing to see the truth, and don't open your third eye. But I think, because that's how I feel like, or the pineal gland, call it the way you want. But what's your impression? What's your opinion on the pineal gland?
Well, I think the third eye is interpretation of lost senses, right? Okay. It is not a third eye. Nobody have a third eye. But our whole issue is that we are poisoned. The body is poisoned. The mind is poisoned. Therefore, we have not full access on our full senses.
Because I find since I eat a lot more healthy, a lot more greens, and I'm vegetarian and all that, I get much more clearer thoughts. Like, I think this is what it means to have the pineal gland in good health.
Yeah,
you have
but
more
that is interpretation. The problem is we get in interpretation. As soon as you get in interpretation, what I can observe is that our senses are disturbed. They are not clean, right? So if we clean our senses, that means if we eat more healthy, if we think more from ourselves instead like intellect and third-party thoughts, then we clean ourselves and get full access to our senses again. And this is what the people are telling with cleaning pineal gland, to clean or to open the third eye and so on. But I just think that we, as baby, we have the full access to all the senses. That's why it is like, oh shit, what they are watching like all over the place. And then we start to disturb the senses. So it is not about something that we don't have access to it. Because as soon as we put like a name as the third eye or as the pineal gland on it, we are going into a concept where you have to read about the concept. And like as we said the last time, reality is so simple, it is just here. But just think if like you are in a quiet place, really you have no sound, and then you come into the place where you was before and they were like, fuck, it's loud, Yeah. So we are get dumped down, all senses getting dumped down. And as soon as we start to clean out that shit, then we start to open the senses again, and we say like, whoa, what is that? And that is also the slip. I tell, when someone is say it's like he's seeing like in future and stuff, when he have slips, he have sense slips where something is happening to him, he can't explain it. This is what is happening. So everyone can have that like kind of sense slip when stuff just open it. You can have it with many have it with drugs, and they start to make interpretation about what they always saw and stuff. I think our senses would be way more open and we would see way more if they would be really cleaned out. But I think we could not live in a city anymore. I think you would be dead if you would drink like one cup of Coke. You would be dead. That is I think that is how much disturbed our body are. We have so much toxins and stuff in our body that we are used to. We can eat a pizza without dying, but I think somebody who come out of the bush, you give him a pizza to eat, he is dead. So that is how much poison we get used to have in our body. So in a sense, as soon as we start to clean out,
I think it's by design also, the poison, for sure. It's like poisoning our mind, poisoning our food, poisoning us on every level. It's part of their game, their agenda.
Of course. That is what that is going on, definitely. I mean, if but that shows also how much power we really have, you know. That is just like as much lies they have to put to dump us down. It is proves also how huge everyone is, you know. It's like my daughter, if I see how much power she has, she's only 14, but if she really wants, she you know, she could lift me up, and you know, she's big now, you know what I mean.
And what
kind of energy.
What's your what do you think is the difference? Because I don't like to say the difference, because I don't like to differentiate myself from the rest of the masses, because you can only be an immaculate leader of a herd of sheep if you're a sheep yourself. You have to be part. Yeah. We're here to feed the sheep, not to entertain the goats. Like, I'm part of the sheep. We're all sheeple, so I'm part of it. I've been in there. I've been indoctrinated for so long, and anyway, I've never saw the truth. But what is the difference between, you think, in your opinion, between people like me and you that see the truth right away when we point it to, like, the flat Earth or any other thing that's happening in Babylon? Why do we see it right away, and other people, it's the cement of the mind? Like, no matter what you're gonna tell them to prove them that we're not spinning this, that, like, just go on, like the empirical proof. Like David Wolf said, he came out, David Wolf, to talk about the flat Earth. Did you hear him? Yeah. So that, you know, what is that? What is it because many are called, but the chosen are few? Is that it?
No. I really think for myself, it is like I always had a doubt. So I was always searching where is the shit going on, really, you know? So if you have already this question for a long time, so you search it, maybe you will find some wrong stuff also, you know. A lot of people now who wake up, they are just jumping on the next thing. Oh yeah, this is like that, and now they turn their back and they shoot on everyone who don't think like them, you know. This is what is going on, but that is how the system works. The best thing for the system is to get the confusion. That is plus bonus, Super Bowl, every what you want, you know. For them, as soon as you get confusion with anything, it can be new age, esoteric games, TV, sex, whatever you want, you know. As soon as you get distracted from reality, for them it is good. So for the most people, they are living in so much stress and fear their whole life already, you know. So the difference also, what I saw about traumas, it is mental traumas and physical traumas, you know. As soon as we have physical traumas, that I mean, we get hit by parents, we get hit by friends, or we get deceived like big time, and this kind of thing was never explained. Or worse, rape, you know. I mean, things are really going on. And just to give like a little number, it is like 8 girls of 10, they already get sexual abuse or harassment. And it is 6 of 10 guys. This is the reality. So the most people we are seeing every day, and the ones who are really the worst, is the ones who get the most pain in their life. So the ones who really harm others is the ones who get exposed to harm, and they didn't understand what is really going on. So if someone is get manipulated through the mind, he can be like 20, 30, and doesn't matter. You can talk to him, right? But as soon as someone have a physical trauma, it is closing up like to the half of the things you could discuss with him. It is always with emotional attachment and so on. Someone who did not realize what was really happening, and most of the abused, they think it is their fault. right?
Yeah.
So in this case, it is impossible that they even can question what was really going on, so that they get exposed to harm that was not supposed to be. So they was provoking something as a child, or most child, they get abused or get hit, you know, like here in Switzerland, is by law, it is not forbidden to hit your child. You know, I mean, we are in 2016, you know, and if you ask the people in the newspaper if they should make a law to forbid that, they say, no, it is right to give a good hit to your kid. You
Yeah,
know,
come on.
this is the mentality where we are in. And if you see the people here around, you see that they are slapped their whole life, you know. So, and they will reproduce the same with their children. That is
Yeah,
what is going
it's
on.
a
I was doing
society.
the same.
It's a society under trauma. Everybody's under trauma, some sort of trauma.
Yeah. I get hit when I was a kid, right? And I really, I'm someone who really hates all violence. But I hit my kids because the mother was hitting the kids. Is something really common here, to hit your kids when it is really going too far. And when the biggest daughter start to hit the little daughter, I was like, fuck, what you are creating here, you know? You're using exactly what you always hate your whole life. You're reproducing exactly the same shit, you know? And the only way to stop it is to take responsibility, go back to your kids and say, I completely mess up and I never gonna do it again. This is out of reach that we never should pass. Never, never, never again. And they never hit them, you know? And it was the best thing to do for me, because I could restore the trust with my children, to tell them, no, this is no way to go, because this is going nowhere, right? Because if you start to slap, what is the limit? You know, I had a discussion with some other guys from Norwegian last time, and I told him, what is the limit? Yeah, if it don't leave a trace, and if you don't have to go to the hospital.
Yeah.
You know, I hear that things today, it is like this, fuck, this is complete abuse we are doing with the children, and it is completely justified, you know. That is the problem. So as parents, we are like God for the children. Everything we are doing is right for them. We are the ones who really show them what is going on. If we start to hit them, we create a complete distortion in their mind. It doesn't matter how hard it is the intention. As soon as we change the intention towards our children, they get a distortion in reality. And this is the amount of distortion of reality most people have in their life. That's why they are full of stress all the time. If you tell them they have to pay their bills next week and they don't have the money, they don't sleep the whole night. You know, but what can you change? You cannot change it. If you don't have the money, you better sleep, because you're gonna harm yourself. You know, so we are enter in this kind of disturbing ourselves to really like, and I like we said the last time, it really have to happen something really bad to you, that you start to think, oh shit, what is going on, and then that you start to question. But most people, when something bad is happening, they're gonna point the finger, and anytime we point one finger on someone, three fingers pointing on ourselves.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. That's great. No, that's it. Me, it's same thing. Until something bad happened to me, I never woke up. I had to bro. I almost died. I had the blood clot in the leg and everything to wake me up. You know, it took me a blood clot in the leg to say, hey, life is more than working not 9 to 5. I was doing 9 to 9 every day. So it was crazy. You know, I was a mad worker. Always loved to move and that, but I realized that this was not my life work, and we have to make the difference between what is working and what is your life work. And a lot of people get caught up in that and never realize their dreams, and they're gonna die. They're gonna be in their dying bed with all their dreams and their aspiration around them and never realizing them. And that's what I find sad. That why do we need to wait that something bad happened to wait? I'm glad it happened. Like this accident that I had is a blessing to me. It's a blessing. It's nothing else but a blessing. But again, you have to recognize the blessing. If you don't like you say, if you keep pointing fingers and saying this happened because no, this happened for a reason. Everything happened for a reason, whether it's bad or good, or but again, what is bad or good? Like it's
That is
another definition.
part of the observation. No, for I think that it is like in law, you know. Yeah, as long as you didn't harm someone, you didn't steal someone, or you destroy something, you didn't make a crime, right?
Yeah.
Not because you say something, it is about the intention. As long as you have good intention and you get aware that you don't want to harm someone, and that you take responsibility if you make your mistake, then you walk the right path. You know, we can do more than that. You know, we can go back and destroy ourselves in the now because we did something that was bad happening yesterday. We have to walk the straight way and recognize. As soon as we recognize the error we did from the past, we are not responsible anymore. This means we're never going to repeat the same shit again. And that is, people really have to see that fact, that we can't judge ourselves about our past, you know, and just hide ourselves about our messed up past we did. We can't do that.
No,
and we cannot.
A lot of people, once they wake up to that reality of the flat earth, that's what happened in their brain. They're gonna, oh, because now I'm awake. No, you've been asleep all your life and you were not different than those people, so you have no advantage to judge. Once you're awake, you have no advantage to judge anyone because you were asleep at one point in your life. So that's all they do, man. It's memes after memes after memes about flat earth. It's like, okay, we know, but the thing is, it's always been probably flat. So I like to say probably flat because it's not a ball. For sure, it's not a ball. We know it's not a ball. We put the ball out of our head because it's impossible it's a ball. We don't see no curve, so there's no ball.
No.
But you know, you have no advantages to judge or to come out and start judging other people once you're awake.
In general, we don't have the right to judge because no one is stand upon another to be able to judge. We can take our responsibility to tell our brothers that they are going in the wrong direction, that they will just harm themselves, or they harm the people who trust them because they're doing things in a certain way. But we have to leave them the full free choice to everything what they are doing. And even if they want to mess up, if they want to harm, they have to take the responsibility about the harm they're doing. The worst is that we are still trusting organizations or even people who do harm, who lie, who don't take responsibility. It is the same for our parents. I love my parents, but I had to recognize that they never question anything, really. So I can't trust.
Hold on, I have to interrupt on this because this is the first confront I had when I woke up. I confronted my mother because I said, Mom, you have to tell me. Because now I knew all the stuff I was researching and I exposed it to her. I said, but she shut the door completely. And but that's where the argument started to eat up because I did not blame her, but I asked her, why did you never research the truth? Why did you have to lie to me about Santa Claus, about the church, about everything without, you know, that's why I say you can be a parent, but that you can be a father. That doesn't make you a dad, you know, or something, because you have to tell the truth to the children. You have to. Me, that was my quest as a parent. I'm like, as soon as I started having children, I'm like, oh, I gotta do. So that's where the journey brought me where I am.
Or just being honest that you don't know.
Or just be honest that you don't know, but don't
I mean,
lie.
that is, or you tell them any story you want, and you tell them that you have no fucking clue about the reality of this story. That's it.
Exactly.
Point, you know. And don't make me believe that this story from far away in a country long time ago. This is bullshit. You know, they didn't verify themselves. So just let me know that you have no idea that this is a story that is told by someone. So we have no clue if this thing is really real. That's it. We don't need more, you know. And also about if they tell us if really someone went on the moon, they don't tell us, yeah, this is how it is, because we can trust them, we can trust them. Then we start to trust them. And as soon as they start to lie to us, we have to stop to trust them too. And that is the same for our parents. And this is probably the most difficult part for everyone, because we all think that we have to trust our family, that our family have to be united. But if they don't question anything, we cannot surround us with people who don't question anything. That is harming ourselves. And I mean, they just lie about everything, you know, and they don't question anything. I took it took me like 30 years to explain them step by step how the money works, how the whole system politics work, how everything works in this fucking place.
Yeah.
And they didn't want to know anything. So after a while, I just have to say, no, so now I just did my homework over 30 years to explain you everything. You don't want to know anything, so just leave me alone. That's it.
Yeah.
I love you, but don't project on me. Don't get your whole fear that what I'm not doing like I supposed to be doing, because you told me my whole life that you have to do it like that, and that the system is how we have to take it or leave it. Oh, well, I leave it.
This is my mother. I said, well, if you are not willing to see the truth, to hear what I have to say, I don't think we will have much more discussion in the future. And that's what happened. We used to call each other 4 or 5 times a week to get news and that. But a bit because also I was in some kind of an illusion to be pampered, or I don't know. It was mostly an habit, but as soon as I started telling her about the truth and everything, and bang, she was gone. She never called me again, and she never, like, she shut down completely. But it's okay. I'm willing to, like, in that journey also, you have to be willing to go alone, because many people that have started with you won't finish with you. So it's very, very important to be willing to go alone and take the journey, because but another thing I was thinking, as Santa Claus, why they tell us that Santa Claus come from the North Pole? I was reflecting on that the other day, and okay, he has to come from somewhere where it's cold, because he's dressed like big time and he's in the cold. So yes, why not the South Pole? It's cold there too, apparently. So why does he have to come from the North Pole? Why do you tell us Santa Claus come from the North Pole? That's another indication. Probably that's where because I believe the Earth is electromagnetic, for sure. There's something that's guiding the sun and the moon up there. They're not suspended with a string. I don't think so. It's much more intelligent than that. So the design is very intelligent, because I'm very intelligent. You are very intelligent. We're all very intelligent. So the design is intelligent. But what is why tell us? Is it because there's really a divine source at the North Pole? Like, I'm not talking about that mountain, magnetic mountain. Maybe there is. I never seen it. Nobody have a picture of anything at the North Pole. I don't think anybody went to the really North Pole or something. But what is there? Like, why do they say Santa Claus come from the North Pole?
Well, I never really thought about why he's coming from the North Pole, but about Santa Claus itself. I mean, Santa Claus is a product of Coca-Cola. It is really recent, you know. So it is, but the symbol of Santa Claus is like Zeus, you know, from Greek. So he has a very powerful character in itself. Now, I lived in Norway, I lived in Norway a while, and I think the whole Nordic countries and the whole Germanic subculture, how I call it, because the whole Germanic culture, how they call it Germanic, is created by the Nazi. This is nothing is out of history, because the Nazi, they were so fascinated of Germans, the Germanics, so they had to recreate like the whole fucking thing. So people who celebrate Germanic stuff, they just have to know that that was created by the esoteric Hermann Höbler, or what was his name, but this is full Nazi creation. Now the just about Santa Claus. Many parents use this Santa Claus like the all-seeing eye, like the system. When I went out of the house, they told me, don't forget, he is always watching you, right? That was like the all-seeing eye was fucking there all the time.
The naughty list.
Yeah. And it was worse because in the school where we was, they had like a golden book, right? And always like around Christmas, he was really coming, you know. The guy was really coming into the school, and you had to step in front of the guy. He was opening his golden book and told you what you was doing good and wrong during the whole fucking year, until I discovered the book in my parents' room, you know. So but that was in front of the whole school. That was not just like something, and so it was the organization of the whole ceremony and ritual, I would call it, was done that you really make believe that the fucking guy just know everything, you know. So that was a excuse for the parents to always scare us that we just did any bullshit that we knew that he know it, you know. So that is already kind of brainwashed the parents going through to create full submission though.
Yeah,
but I have not really an idea why he is coming from the north though.
Okay, but I think also it's a chronological thing. We have Santa Claus when we're young, and then we go to church. They try to bring us to church, and then so it's a form of always someone watching over you. That God is watching your every move, and I think it's a bit ludicrous, but yeah.
Yeah, it's like the police song. Everywhere you go, I will watching you.
Yeah. Now there's another point I want to touch on is people in Europe seems much more awakening much more faster, but maybe not. Maybe it's just an illusion that I have, but it's a vibration that I feel because I interact with a lot of people online. And in Germany, especially, the reggae music is very, very big in Germany. What is going on in Europe? You're very close to Germany, so you probably have Switzerland also. Reggae is very, very big. It's big in Europe. It's big in Europe. It's bigger. Reggae music is bigger in Europe than in Jamaica, than anywhere in the world.
Yeah, France. I think France is very huge.
Germany, UK, Switzerland, Italy. These are major countries for reggae music. The artists are very, very popular, which you're going to bring them here. Nobody knows about them.
Yeah. The thing is, I think in France, what rose also up was like the whole scene of in France. They have a lot of support, you know, like the many events. They have governmental support to make shows. Okay. So the reason why it is really so huge and why it is coming up so much, I don't really know why, but I don't think it is like going or it's coming like really huge this years. It is like that since like 10 years now already. Okay. That artists are really coming. I don't think it is really getting bigger. I don't know if you know Seed with 3 SEEEED.
No.
That was the biggest German band who they make the water pump rhythm, you know, with Anthony.
I know that.
Yeah, these are German guys who really they played in a lot of crowd, and they also run the whole hit parade and stuff. So Germany is just focused on some artists, but France is very much more also on the Jamaican scene, and Switzerland also. What we was doing in Switzerland, I was in 15 years ago. No, not 15 years ago. That was less, like almost 10 years ago. I created reggae.ch. Because there was nothing going on, and there was not a real agenda about the events and stuff. So with some friends, I'm a web page programmer, so I just programmed the whole web page that was on for 10 years. At the moment it's down, but I will work on it again. and that brought us out also to be played on radio station. We made 3 compilations for like with the 3 Swiss main radio stations, and a lot of promoters also, they saw that the reggae events, they are just visited. People are coming and the party is always going on. So the promoters, even not reggae promoters, have their reggae events on their shows. And this is like since 10 years now, it is really working quite good. And we also have a couple of Swiss artists who are played on the radio, and they're keeping the scene up. It is not very. I think that is also what I observe. It is the whole reggae scene in Europe. They are differentiate them from making Jamaican reggae. They really start to make their own reggae now. Finally, you know, it is like a long time they just try to copy everything what came from Jamaica, and now they really start to make their own thing in French, in German, in the different language and so on. And I think that is a very, very great evolution though in reggae, to not to be just focused on the little island, but to be able to make something. And even like they like France, in France they make stuff and invite steel poles, or you know, the guys are really active, so they're making like old and young is mixing more together though.
No, it's great. And yeah, Jamaica, they inspired us all to live up as one, for sure, that little island of the Caribbean. So for sure, but there's so many greats coming out from there. Yeah, for sure. No, the Jamaica, great place. So yeah, that brings me to my other subject. I want to touch a bit on astrology. Astrology. We're going to talk about astrology because it's something that always been fascinating me. I always found that very interesting. There's a lot of stuff about astrology. What's your intake about astrology? Do you listen? Because I know it's all man-made. The interpretation that we have of the astrological representation in the sky, it's all man-made. So what do you think about that?
I grew up. My father was very interested in the stars and so on. So it is like he was more like astronomy. So he was more interested what is going on with the stars, with the position of the stars. And he had like glasses like this thick, you know. So he didn't saw the little stars beside the big stars. He just told me there was a little star beside. He knew the whole sky in the night. So he just told me where the sky, where the stars are. Now I think the whole interpretation of that thing, it makes that if we believe in it and if we give in attention in something, the stuff gets really created, but it is diverted by someone who creates something for us, right? It is always like the direct experience and the third party experience. So as soon as we let something between ourselves and anything that is happening in life, we are giving up our energy to something that we can't verify ourselves, and we have to trust something. So it is always, and the way everything is man-made, as soon as we listen to someone, we listen already to an observation or interpretation or opinion, and therefore we have like a second opinion about someone who thinks something about. So we always get back to the system. The system always come back, and that's why third party is always a lie. It is not the truth, and if something is not true, then it is still a lie. That is what is really going on.
That's what Arthur was explaining in his message, that third party was always a lie.
Third party is always a lie, because it is just an observation of someone who put words on his observation and he give it further. So it is not reality. It is not direct experience, because if we can have direct experience, we just can go to visit the tree or the stone or the house or anything. If it's real, we can have a direct experience, and we don't need a translator imposed a book or words or something between our direct experience. And there where we get lost all the time, because we want to fix stuff in time and space. And this is one of the biggest trauma of man, to leave something behind him, a trace, right? And I think we don't find about like people who lived before the whole Babylon started, because they didn't have the trauma to leave traces. You know, we didn't have that trauma to say, hey, we have to tell everyone that we was here. We did something very important. Everyone need to know it, you know. But this is just because our ego told us that we did something more important than the ones who come after us and the ones who was here before.
Yeah.
That is the whole trauma in our mind, that we have to leave a trace, you know. And that is the same for my music. I mean, this they can destroy all my albums when I'm gone, because they just got someone else need to tell what I really want to say in my songs.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, so they cannot come back to me and say like, what you really want to say in this song. So I can say it. In the time when I wrote the song, I was in complete illusion, and I messed up, you know, because we leave the traces all the time on Facebook. We leave pictures, you know. It is always like we put something in time and space and leave it there, but only third party can come back if we are not here anymore.
Okay, how do you explain the memory? How do you explain that we have memory? Because I always think that, you make me think of that. Me, I think memory is something that's stored into space-time, that it's something we tapped in to space-time to bring back. Is it something that you think that it's in our brain, the memory, or?
I think we have to talk about the water, because the water is water is life, and life is water. That is what is going on. So all our intentions, dreams, and nightmares from our ancestors are stored in water. Water have memory. Everywhere where water passed through, we leave a trace in the water. We don't need to write, we don't need to have, but everything is stored. So all the nightmare, all the ego thoughts of our ancestors we are facing today, this is stored in the water. But also the water of our ancestors who still remember who they really was. So we have permanent access to all information. But this is not long information, because you cannot put it in words. You can feel it, right? Everyone can feel it. If he's not in stress, hate, or any other dumped down feelings, he can have access permanent to all this knowledge. This is always accessible. But this is the same for the hate we are producing today. This is the same for everyone who have any thought, positive or negative. This is just the observer. But if it is for life or if it's dead, if it's material, if it's ego, if it's the car, if it's the work, the money, all that thing, these are dead dreams. These are not living dreams. That's why we are pertaining all the time that dead dream that we will face. Our children will face that, and the whole thing will face that. And this is where we are today into. And when we talk about the stars and astronomy, that is one of the first part where someone thought, we have to tell the others what is really going on with the stars, you know. So they have an ego. They think their observation about the stars is more important than what everyone else sees, right?
Okay, and
so they have to.
What about the as above, so below? What do we do with that? As above, so below.
Well, that is again something. Can we observe it?
I can see the only, like, sometimes it's hard to recognize animal pattern into the stars, like stuff like that. But the one thing that I can really see, and it's always right here on top of me, is the Big Dipper and the Small Dipper, like le petit chaudron puis le gros chaudron. Yeah. You can really see the shape of the pan, saucepan or whatever, a chaudron.
Yeah, but that is the interpretation, or like the comparison we do with what we see in a like first party and what we see in the sky.
Because, you know, although if you take someone completely from the forest, like you say, put someone in born in the jungle or in the Amazon forest, whatever, in some kind of tribe, and bring them to our civilization in America or something, in Switzerland, Europe, whatever, and without any indoctrination whatsoever, I'm sure they have a complete different vision, because I've been put in my head so many movies. That's why I say to my children, be careful what you put in your ears and what you see, because it's going to play in there. It stays in the subconscious.
Yeah, there was a book. There was a book who a chief of a tribe. He went to the city and came back to the tribe to explain them how the city was. But he had to use like the common words they used in the jungle to describe them: cars, planes, you know.
Yeah.
And for him was so difficult to explain. Oh, it was difficult for him. Was like something that make noise, that is rolling on something, you know. You have to explain if they never saw it. And that is the same with the whole interpretation about the Babylon or the Sumerian scriptures. If you never learn the language, how you can describe like something what is written there, you know? And that is the same with the stars. You need to get if there is really, if the stars would really mean something, we need to have the full disclosure of what this really means, instead to start to make projections about what it could be. Because
it's
as soon as we get, we start the same thing again. It is always that third party that comes in, and then someone have a good explanation, and we say, yeah, it's a good explanation, I will take this one. Yeah. And then he gonna tell that to someone else, but he is not saying that someone think that this is happening about the thing. No, this is what is really going on. And then we start always to catch ourselves and to have trust to someone, and that is always the third party. That's why the third party is always the lie. What we see in the sky, we see lights from here in the sky. Yeah. That's it, you know. As soon as we want to make something special or more complicated out of it, then we need to have books, intellect and studies and dimensions and measurements and calculations and all this kind of stuff. But we just can see the stars. We can admire like the beauty of it. That's it.
But there's another thing about the stars too. They say that the stars turn over us. They go clockwise, I think, over us. But the sun, I can see it moving. The moon, I can see it moving. But the stars, I don't know how, like maybe I have to research more on it, but I can rarely see them moving like a really distant, like an apparent movement in the sky, like the sun or the moon. I don't see no apparent movement. Like it's very, probably they move into it. Because people have they put camera and they have star trails, you know, of the...
Yeah, but Yannick, you know, I mean, the biggest issue is that we start to search someone or something that probably nobody knows.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and we always think they know, you know, and maybe they could tell us, you know, and that's the problem, that we think really, like, I think the one, like we said before, it is only the manipulated who manipulate, but he is not aware that he is manipulated. So that in this way, like the ones who are like on NASA, they're working there. Like I don't know if you hear the guy calling NASA to ask about the Hubble telescope.
No, I didn't hear that.
I will send you the video. The guy is calling, and he is really genius because he really knows the specification of everything, you know. So he studied like the specification of Sophia. You know the difference between the Sophia and the Hubble? Sophia is a plane that goes through base stratosphere, and he's taking picture from the universe, and he have exactly the same specification than the Hubble telescope.
Oh.
Ah, okay. So Hubble telescope never was up there, you know, and they take pictures with Sophia. But the guy, he is calling to a guy at NASA who is working 25 years for Hubble, and the guy never saw a direct picture from Hubble, never.
Never.
25 years. And
And
then
he
the guy, he
never.
was saying, but did you know that Sophia have exactly the same specification than Hubble? And the guy was, no, because Sophia cannot take infrared pictures. And he called the specialist on NASA in the Sophia, and the guy was saying, no problem, we can do everything what Hubble can do. So the guy is working even on NASA, and he is not aware that what he is looking at, pictures from Sophia, and they don't have like 24 hours access. They need to tell the telescope what to do. And the guy is really serious that Hubble is like dropping down a couple of miles every hour. So after the calculation, the Hubble telescope should already be at ISS now, you know? And he was calculating that stuff for the guy who worked at NASA. And the guy at NASA was saying, no, the calculation is wrong. And this guy say, no, I did my homework. You can make the calculation. And he did the fucking same calculation, and it was right. So, and just to say that Hubble don't have anything to push it out, right? He cannot even turn. He have nothing.
That's
You
crazy.
know?
Just to say,
it is like, it is so immense that the people even working on NASA for 25 years, watching on the pictures of Hubble, don't even realize that the fucking Hubble is not even up there.
No,
so that is how big the fucking lie is going on. And you can make work people for 25 years. They think it is the same, like, you know, what was Pluto? Pluto is not a planet anymore, right? Yeah. Imagine the guy who was working like 25 years in his office. He is Pluto specialist, you know? And one day he's coming on his work, and, you know, the plate on the door is just taken off. You know?
Oh, I make fun of it now because it's so funny.
Man.
Oh, man. We're gone. We have lost
if you can realize that this guy are just like used, abused, everyone is used and abused for his thing and what they are doing. So they have like no pity.
What's the big deal if you have a Hubble up there to just reverse it and send us a 24/7 rotation of the Earth? Like what? You can.
No,
you
they can't turn it.
No. Have you seen the other one too? The blue thing that went up there and that re-landed exactly in the middle of the ocean on the barge, on the platform. Have you seen that?
Oh, and that a movie on 59 is a Russian movie that came out about, and they have exactly the same scene. I have it on a video. It's like it's a Russian movie where they show exactly. It's just complete mockery. And but they have, you know, because they have a huge lie, they have to add like all the time new stuff, you know. That's why they show always so much stuff about ISS, direct missions about ISS. So the people just kind of, oh no, but they do it like all the time. So the people just cope it. I coped it, you know, for years. I was fascinated by all this shit, you know, really.
And I was fascinated by space myself. That's why I used to put NASA. I used to put that I was engineer at NASA Goddard Space Center on my Facebook.
Yeah.
Hello, it's serious stuff. I was amazed by that stuff until I realized, I'm like, whoa. But the moment I realized that it was a lie, then the power came to me. I felt so powerful. It's like a surge of power came pouring down on me, and I felt the power of the divine. I felt the divine power. That's what I felt.
Well, that's the curse that is going, bro. You know, we are living all under a curse of that harm, of all the lies, of the accumulated lies. And I mean, this one about the round ball Earth, and if you believe it, and all the space, and all the Star Trek, and all the shit that we accumulate in our head, this is a huge lie. You know, this gives we are living in full doubt and always
doubt and fear. It's a world of doubt and fear.
As soon as we give up a lie where we believed in it, of course we get powerful, because we gain the power back that is originally on us, you know. So that is the whole thing. That is what also people relieves themselves, and what they think they are so way more powerful than the others, and start to judge like the sheep and stuff, you know, start to call people names. And this is exactly what we have to realize first. We was the sheep too, you know. So it is, and doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because we are not the sheep anymore, that it makes us someone special. We are all in the fucking same boat, you know. If someone is asleep or someone is awake, someone is more intelligent or someone else, don't matter. We are all in the same boat, and we just need to share this also together. We cannot, if someone really want to stay on the lie, we have to give him that full free choice that he can stay in the lie, but he also have to face the consequences. And he would not be allowed anymore to manipulate someone with his own manipulation. And this is what have to stop. We have to stop. We always say like, yeah, because we are cool people, we have to just move away if someone is not cool. We have to stop that, because the one who is not cool, the one who create harm, we have to stop him and make him process the full harm that he is creating. And that is something that a lot of people around me, they don't really get it, because they think I'm going in conflict with people who don't agree with me. But I never go in conflict with people, but I put them on the thing to say, what you are claiming here is wrong, and it is a fucking lie. He can be as cool, and he can be us thing. If someone state and claim something without backing his claim, he is a liar. And we are trained liars. We don't have to forget that. As soon as, and this is something in the education that is very important too, that punishment, if we punish our kids, we learn them to lie. Because when you punish someone, he is projecting the bad thing that is going on this one who punish him, instead to face the whole consequences of the harm. And that is something that is very difficult to understand. But as soon as we go into punishment, he don't get it, what the problem really was. He will repeat the same shit, but he will hide it. And then he start to lie, because I don't mind, you know, my kids, I'm very, they can fool around as much as they want. They always have to clean out their shit themselves. Always. They are fully responsible about all the shit they're doing. If they have ego projections, if they have bad thoughts, if they have anything like that, I make them process the whole curse straight up. So they have to stop it. We cannot stop it for them. It's their free choice. They have to do.
This is what most people do. They avoid responsibility and waking up to the reality, to the everything, to the hoaxes that we've been, and the spell we've been put under comes with responsibility. So it's very important to take your responsibility and to, you know, always.
But as soon as we understand that we are not, that we are not allowed to judge ourselves. If we don't want to harm, we are not allowed to judge ourselves nor others. And that is where the responsibility scares a lot of people, because they start to judge instead to recognize, you know. That is what we can't change the past. It's as simple as that. We can't change the past. But if we repeat the same bullshit all the time again, then we are fully responsible about the shit we are doing.
Exactly. That's why the journey of life should be to wake up. Like, what is the point? Like, why do you think are we here? Why do you think we're here, and who we are? Because if you take the word human, just human is the shadow of the man. You means shadow, I believe, and man. So the shadow of the man. So I'm much more than a human. Being human is just a shadow of me. Something like that. But I always believe I was much more than what they have been told. And even now, I probably just discovered 1%, not even, of what I'm capable of doing. I'm sure we're divine, we're intelligent creatures, we're capable, we have consciousness, we are co-creators of this reality. And that's, come on, man.
The most simple to comprehend this, it is, we are living man or living woman. That's it. Now, if we start in all terms and stuff, now we are here to witness and experience life. If not, life would not exist. This is why we are here. We are the guardians of life, because no one can claim that if man is not on earth anymore, that the stuff will continue to live. It is impossible, because never someone experienced absence of life, of man's absence of life on earth. This is what is going on. So we are here to maintain life. We are the fucking creator of the whole life, because we are experiencing the life. Now someone is saying, yeah, but you can't claim that the forest didn't exist because before a man went there. What do you know if a man was there already before or not? You know? So, and well, can we say that something existed before we really saw it with our own eyes? We only could make reference on a third-party picture, video, or hearing saying to say that this place really existed before we experienced the existence of this place. So it is very simple. Again, it is very simple now to understand why we don't see that anymore. Is because they ask us, what do you want to become when you are big? So you start to search. I want to be more firefighter, maybe farmer, maybe you know. So you start already to look completely somewhere else than what you are supposed to do. Is witness life, is experience life, and dream the dream of life. This is what we are supposed to do, nothing more. You know.
And so, the dreams. That's why I always put the emphasis on living your dream, live your dreams, because if you don't, once you start living your dream, you start connecting with people, you start realizing your dream. First of all, it's going to manifest.
But I would add the dream of life.
Yeah, the dream of life. Live the dream
because
of life.
we are trained ego. So if we just dream our dream, and it is really just our dream, and we don't include everyone and the whole life in this dream, we don't dream the dream of life, but we dream the dream of death. This is the complete different when you ask people, what is your dream, you know? So they tell us, yeah, I want to become famous, you know? Wow, okay, but this is not a dream. You have to know that things will happen. You will get famous, but you will face all consequences that you can become famous. Because to become famous, you have to give up energy yourself, and you need to find people who will give energy for you.
You become some sort of slave. Once you're famous, once you become famous, you become a slave, man.
Of yourself. And now the thing is, when we talk about already about the dream and the dream of life, it is, when I was in school, I dreamed to make music, right? That was my dream, to have a band like Bob Marley, you know, like a lot of musicians, you know, play in front of a lot of people and all over the place. Now, I separated these two dreams, right? I had my band to play in front of thousands of people and to travel around the world to perform in front of people. I had both, but not together. Because when I thought I want to play all over the place, I didn't have my 16 people on the road. I didn't thought on that, you know? Yeah. So I had both. I was performing in with my band, with Moonrises, in huge shows, and everything was there. And then suddenly I find myself alone on a stage in front of 60,000 people. At that moment, I realized that I make a mistake in my own dream. And the song was, my dream is to fly over the rainbow. I did it, you know? Yeah. So everything what we dream come really to reality. And what we are living today are our dreams from yesterday. So if we are complaining about something that is happening today, we have to think what we was dreaming really yesterday. And better to start to dream the dream of life today. If not, tomorrow we'll face dead, you know?
That's why my dream is directed more towards, my dream is to wake up the world. My dream is to wake up the most people possible. My dream is to share. My dream is to connect. My dream is to really, it's not about me, it's about us. And we, once you come into realization of the oneness and this and that, you have a lot less problem evaluating those perspectives that you are part of a whole. I always said from day one on my video on YouTube, on my Motivation Academy, I made video last summer near the water, and I said it from the beginning, I'm part of a whole. It's not about me here. I don't come on YouTube for me. It's not about me, it's about us. But most people, once they start living their dream, it's very much into the ego, and it's all about themselves, realizing their success. And to me, I am successful today. You don't need to give me any money for my success. Just to be with you on the screen, that is success to me. That is a proof of success. So that's how I interpret it. And that's how I think everybody should be when they start living their dreams, is really recognize the oneness also, because you're going to be in tune with a lot of synchronicity also. And you have to pick up those signs to tell you that you're on the right path. I'm sure you had a lot of synchronicity happening to you along your journey to tell you you were on the right path, and you picked up those signs, and that gives you strength to go on further. I'm sure you can probably relate some synchronicity that happened in your life. I have a lot. I can go on and on and on.
I don't call it synchronicity though. I call it, for me, it is the life always appeal for more life, but dead also. So okay. It is really like what we are doing with it, right? So if we want to have things more alive, it is like for people, just to come back to the dream, it is to dream about the house, a car, and the family. This is not life. But to have life on a place and to be able to move somewhere, this is the life. And this is exactly the same, but it is from a different angle, and the ego is out of it. And this is the difference what we can do with our own dreams. Now,
when you were pursuing your journey, did you have the feeling that you were part of something bigger than yourself? Of course.
Yeah. But
at one point, not. So that's where you decided to detach, I guess.
In 2013, when I came out with Babylon Decoded, I said, I want to change the world.
Yeah.
But the only thing I could change was myself.
Yeah.
Right? Today, because the world is a lie, to change the world would be another illusion. Right?
Okay. Yeah.
Now today I'm very aware that the only thing that I can change is myself. I don't have the dream anymore to change the world or even others, you know, because I fully accept their free choices of if they want to change or not. And they have to keep their full free choice. But my own responsibility and the action I can do is to share my journey.
Yeah, that's why I still, you know, you told me a lot of stuff about copyrights and stuff, but that's why I keep promoting the reggae music. I know I am promoting in some way the New World Order. I know it. But people don't know, and people, it's up to them to wake up at their rhythm, at their when the time is ready for them to wake up, to expose it, to come out, to break out the spell, and to really expose it like you did. When you started Babylon Decoded, you said, okay, now I got to change myself. I have to be the change and be the light. So that's what you did, and that's what I did. That's what a lot of people do, but that's why I don't intend to stop promoting reggae music, because me, it changed my life. It brought me to where I am, and I am an example that Bob Marley got to me really to the core at one point, because he pushed me to research on Babylon. Probably same thing as you. It's Babylon. What is Babylon? Like, okay, you tell me I live in a Babylon system, but I gotta find out what it is, because it's much bigger than me. So anyway, but changing the world, you can only change yourself. But the thing is, what happened when you change yourself, and that's something I observe, and you can witness the same, I'm sure, is the consciousness you will embody will affect everybody around you, no matter what. The consciousness you embody, the new person you are, the new vibes you're radiating affects everyone around you.
Yeah. In a way, I was a kind of celebrity here around. I get a flood of projections, though, you know. And I coped it. I knew that I was subject for a lot of discussions behind my back, and a lot of because the people had a kind of relation with the persona Jaba. They put it on a kind of step where I didn't have to go, or I didn't was allowed to go for them, right? So I was allowed to sing and to shut my mouth. That was the limit they want to have Jaba. And suddenly he was starting to say what he was really thinking about everything. And that disturbed them in a way that they even permit to think, to tell me that what I had to do. So in a way, I had a lot of discussion also to people. As soon as I post something out, the people have a huge discussion what is really going on. And only a few really come to ask really questions about what is really going on. But the way I'm not different on the internet. I'm not different on Facebook than I am in reality.
No,
I talk with people the whole day about the same trauma, about Babylon, about all the situation, about everything. Everything interests me, that it is create the confusion that the people cannot live for something, and the consequences are so huge and so multiple, and so any manipulation, mind manipulation, or the thoughts we have about things is infecting us so much in our everyday life that we don't understand what is going on with ourselves. Mostly with ourselves, we don't emotionally, we don't know why we get pissed off of that, and we don't know why we are like just sad of this, we're happy of that. It's like boom, 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 boom. It's bouncing all the time around, and everything is pushing so much in all that. And a realization of many who wake up, that I think we have to talk about that. It is, we can't change this system. We have to recognize that we have to step out everything what it is the system if we really want to change something. And this is the same than the copyright. And that also the reason why I don't do copyright anymore. We didn't talk finally, but we're going to talk for the end of the show, because the whole system is on the copyright. Every word, every language, every subject, every idea, everything is under intellectual property. This is the copyright for the system. Now, to explain a simple way, maybe for the ones who don't know what copyright in general is, it is that the musician even think it is to protect their art. And this is already the first lie, because it don't protect anything. Okay. If you have an issue with someone who takes something from you, you will have to pay everything to get a process to get your right about your copyright. So it's not protecting everything. For all the musicians who think that it is protecting their music, is completely false. You can send your own CD to yourself, and this is what is protecting you if you really want to protect your music. Now, if someone wants to use my music, when I copyright is the right to copy. That's it, right? So you give the right that others can copy you. And if they copy you, they will have to pay you a fine. And this is exactly how it works in the system. We can't change a bank, right? We can't create ourselves, just open a building and call it bank. Why? Because bank is an intellectual property from the Templars on the Vatican. So anyone who wants to build a bank, he needs to pay a license to the one who creates the idea of a bank. And these are the Templars, that's the Vatican. That's why all the money flows through the Vatican. That is how it is regulated in the system. But we can go further. Every word Every word is the intellectual property from the system, and we cannot change it. It is like that. If I make a song and I put in the license that the one who wants to perform the song, he have to make it in a pink jacket.
Yeah.
Now, someone is performing that song in a pink, without a pink jacket. I can take him off the license and can put him even in jail if we don't pay the fee, right? This is how intellectual property works, and this is the same with everything in the system. Politics, all the words, all the symbols, 1, 2, 3, we cannot change the system. And to try to change the system is like giving a painkiller to a dead. So we have to recognize that we have to step out the system completely. That means we have to clean out all our programming from the system. And we don't have to invent another system, because the system always requires slavery, harm, destruction, manipulation, and
Like
war.
Yeah, this brings me to what Teacher D told me in an interview I had with him. He said, Yannick, he said, even if we put the Babylon system down, there's going to be another system, no matter what. There's always going to be some kind of system. Like, how do you see the whole thing once we wake up? There's got to be something, some kind of organization.
Well,
I don't know.
the release from the system is really that everyone is full self-responsibility for all his thought, for all his feelings, for all his words and all his actions. Then we don't need any surveillance. We don't need any master. We don't need any slave. But for this, we need to wake up again to life and to recognize that everyone is unique. Everyone is able to do anything. And
I think the big problem is the intrusive government that we have. It's not to have, okay, government, I don't like the word, but it's not that we don't need a council or some kind of leaders, but we need to not be intrusive into our life. And we need to have system that works to exchange goods, because no matter what, we cannot sit on our ass all day and do nothing. That's not life. So we have to do something with our life. We have to create stuff. We are all co-creators of this reality, but if we don't put the shoulder to the wheel and start creating and first changing yourself, like you said, we're never going to change the reality.
Yannick, one very interesting part about copyright is the love for God, or believing in God.
Yeah.
And this is called amor Dei.
Amor Dei.
Amor Dei in Latin, right? And amor reversed, if you reverse amora,
Rome,
you have Rome. So if you love God, God is an intellectual property in the Roman law. If you believe in God, you accept the rulers, the rules and the regulations of Rome, the system. This is what believing God means, you know? And this is how intellectual property works. If you agree and consent to anything what they propose you, you are under the spell of their system. This is how perverted things are with only one word. If you believe in God, it doesn't, if you can discuss about God with anyone you want, and finally you come to life. Because, yeah, this is God, this is God. And I say, oh, but this is a tree, he is alive. I see stars. Yeah, I mean, this is nature, you know? Even we have to give a name to life, because we are not life anymore. And we call it nature. But it is life, it is alive. And this is what is really going on. So anytime we give up any kind of spell or intellectual property, if we believe in this intellectual property, we are already consenting and contracting with this system. And this is how deep the whole programming is going. As soon as we agree with something that is proposed to us through third party, because it's the tree, we don't have to agree with the tree, right? The tree is just there. We just accept it as that. But we have to agree all the time when they are proposing us something. And it's the same with vote. If you vote, you give up all your responsibilities to someone. And just to ask, who is fully satisfied with the politician?
Nobody. They're all fakers.
Fully satisfied? Never.
Never.
No one
They're all
is
fakers.
all fakers, but the people still support there, you know. And sometimes we just have to think,
And the
who we
worst,
really trust, you know,
and
and
the
do they
worst
really
is
say the truth?
you look at cartoons often, The Simpsons or stuff like that, and you're gonna have predictive programming in them, like Star Wars, Star Trek. Why do you think Star Trek came out at the time they came out? It came out with the moon stuff and the Apollo
Yeah, but
program
this
and
is
making.
but still happening today with the Mars movie.
Yeah,
A week
yeah,
before the Mars movie, they discover water on Mars.
yeah,
You know, I mean, what do you want more? You know, did you see The Martian, the movie?
yeah.
Yeah, NASA they love, you know, Scotch, you know, to do
Yeah, yeah.
Scotch.
Scotch tape. That's the worst thing is, just look at the picture. You're gonna see it's foil paper, Scotch tape, and it's
Yeah,
so ridiculous. And
even worse. Take a close-up picture of the one who when they went to the moon. You know,
yeah,
you look a close-up picture. It is carton and
not only
foil
that,
paper.
they supposedly landed on the moon. What, the camera crew was there before they
Yeah,
arrived?
of course.
Hello, just that. But I never questioned myself on this. I never seen it. I had doubt at one point that the moon landing was not real or this or that, but still I had to search to really determine for myself that it was fake. I had to see the stuff to really
Yeah.
realize that it was fake. But until you look at it with open eyes and an open mind, you will not decipher the bullshit in them, and you will just go along with the story and take everything they tell you for granted. That's what happened. We take everything they tell us for granted, that they're so clever.
Yeah, but I was always questioning about when I was in the plane, you know, when you take like Europe, New York.
That's my question. You've been taking a lot of planes. When you
Yeah,
were on the planes, you were looking outside the window. You never thought of anything?
it's not from looking outside, but it was looking on the map, what they're showing always inside, you know. You're like on an 8-hour plane and you have just this fucking map in front of you, you know. And you just think, fucking hell, I'm already painful at my ass to sit here. Why they are flying like that?
Yeah,
Why?
yeah, yeah.
And I ask, but tell me, why do we make this turn almost up to Greenland to go to New York? I asked the pilot and stuff, and he said this is the direct line. And I'm not silly, you know. If you make, you know, I mean, a direct line is this.
Yeah.
This is a direct line. But if you have to make it like that, and you have already 8-hour pain on your ass, you start to wonder, what is that fuck, you know? And on other maps, I went to, like, from here to Moscow, it is like 4 hours. And then I went further into Russia, and I was looking on the map, and I did almost the same distance from here to Moscow, then from Moscow to the other place in 1 hour. And I was like,
So right there, you
what?
were asking question. You were
Well,
questioning the reality.
and I realized long time ago that all world maps are wrong. They are dimensionally, they are completely wrong. And if you only look the size, the true size of Africa, and I think that is a very, very perverted thing, and is very racistic. This is racist creation. I mean, all the southern hemisphere is 10 times smaller on a world map. That means Africa is 10 times bigger, you know? And just show this real map to the Africans who want to come to Europe. I mean, Europe is a small place like that. And Africa is all that. You know, you just show them that you guys want to go there, but there is no space. It is fucking small, fucking expensive, and the people are not cool, you know? So they will just use you as a slave to come here. You have a huge place with a lot of green, you know? Just kick the guys out of your country. That's all what you have to do. But we don't have to think that we have to save Africa or the third world country. This is the most racist thought, to think that other people need our help. We just have to stop stealing all the stuff in Africa. That's all what we have to do.
The shape of the landmass too are wrong. The shape, you know, like you look at Africa, it's the face of a woman. You look at Italy, it's someone that kicking you in the ass, like the Pope is kicking you in the ass or something with his boot. Like that's how I see it. Like they're all representation of them. Is the big monster with the Quebec at the end, with the mouth entering the Fleuve Saint Laurent is the big mouth of America. You know, it's all
mockery.
Like a lot of maps are wrong. We don't have no real map. We have nothing real from them. It's all crap. No. It's all bullshit. And I'm sure there is more land hidden. Also, I keep coming back on that. It's impossible that we know that now just to know that it's flat. Make me laugh. There's a lot more thing hidden than that. That now we're being cut. But you know, it takes those stuff because at the beginning I was caught in the thing of YouTube, in the hype of YouTube, and I was like, oh yeah, the Earth is flat. Da, 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 da. I was all into it, and I was accepting the map that they were giving us. I even portray it on my YouTube channel, that on the beside the thing. So I'm like, whoa. At one point, after a year in YouTube, after a year into this flat Earth thing, I realized that this whole thing was a psyop, because that's where the psyop takes place. It's the same thing as the globe. You don't give me no more land. You don't give me nothing more. You're just changing the shape of the Earth. Okay, change the shape of the Earth, but that doesn't affect my optical all the time. It's always been flat. The horizon is flat. So what is
we have to also see that we don't need anyone to tell us the truth. We have it all. You know, we don't need any movement, organization, religion, or anything like that. And that is what puts ourselves in submission, and that we have to move a group, or that we need someone else to stand up, and that we are stronger. You know, this is already a basic illusion, because all movements, organizations, they will be created, organized, manipulated, financed, or hijacked. That is how it is going on. And they will always, as soon as they get too much importance, they always will get infiltrated. That is what we have to know. That's why only full self-responsibility will get us out of this mess. So.
Oh yeah, will get us out of this mess and shining our light. So it was a pleasure again, Jaba, to have you on the show. Hey. We will be back next week again for this time. It's going to be en français, in French.
En français.
Oui, en français, on va parler de la Terre plate et toutes sortes d'affaires, toutes sortes de conspirations. Je ne sais pas, j'aime pas ce mot-là, conspiration, mais en tout cas, on va nailer ça en français beaucoup. Là. Je pense, because I think it's something that's missing on YouTube a lot, and I have been explaining it. Every time I put stuff out in French on YouTube about the flat Earth or there's reality conspiracy hoaxes or stuff, you get attacked a lot. You get attacked by trolls and people that are there just to propagate bad vibes. So it's missing, and we have to put our vibes out there. So that's what we're going to do.
A lot of people here around will looking forward for have this in French, though.
Yeah, no, it's going to be a great show in French because it's my maternal language. So for sure, I'm going to be probably very, very vocal, for
sure. Great.
So,
looking forward, bro.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
Thanks, everybody, for being here. Janik, your host with Mr. Jaba.